When you feel despondent,
当你觉得心情很绝望，
depressed,
然后很沮丧，
no hope,
没有希望的时候，
and as a result, laziness,
然后造成
lack of enthusiasm,
没有热情，
it's a good sign.
这是一个好的现象。
Definitely, it's a good sign. It's because I felt that when I was in America. I told some of you guys who know me, I gave a practice in sadhana, a couple of times. I'll see you later. Like I told some of you when I was in America, I had a great altar. You can see the picture of it in my book if it ever comes out. I covered it several times. I said, I'm not praying to you guys. I don't get any results. I'm poor, and I'm having difficult problems and all that stuff. I stopped praying. After a few days, I opened up, say hello, and changed my mind. And I actually go, are you guys still my friends? They're still smiling at me. Tara's still smiling. Shakyamuni's still smiling. Vajrapani's still pissed off. Setup is still unhappy. Whatever. But it's all the same. And when I go back to my guru, they say, oh, welcome back. I went back. And then when I go back to the talk, I go back to the pujas and stuff like that because I was away and I was unhappy. And I called up Mamie and say, I'm not doing this anymore. Dharma's too hard. Then when I come back, I'm like, they're like, hi. And I'm like, and after 1-2 days, okay, well, it's healthy. You know why? When in our life have we not felt depressed or down or disillusioned
缺乏希望，
about anything in our life? When? We felt disillusioned, depressed, regretful about our wife, about our husband, about our children, about our dog, about our friends, about our flatmate, about our jobs, about the way we look, about the clothes we bought, the trip we went, the people we're hanging out with. We felt like that many times. What difference does it make? It's our mind doing it again. It's our mind doing it again. How many times have we made commitments in the past and broke it? Don't want. How many? We've made so many commitments. We want to do this, we want to buy this, we don't want to buy. We want to buy, don't want to buy, don't want to buy, don't want to buy. When it comes to food, buy lot. How many times? So when we go to Dharma store and we book a statue, we say we're going to buy it, we never pay, we just disappear, see you later, and someone else buys it. What else is new? That's what we've been doing. So when we feel down and we feel depressed, when we feel uncomfortable, this means put it on. Yeah, thanks, Dave. David's not wearing his glasses. The correct button that says 1. Yes, very good. And then you turn it to number 1 or 2, for speed. That's wonderful. Educated, huh? These Malaysians, I tell you. Wow, he knows how to turn it on. On, click 1. Jeez. With attendance like that in my larang, I'm telling you, I'm pulling in those sponsors. Bill Gates next. And then, if we're still not sure, because, we haven't really gone to school and studied, we listen for a sound. Oh yeah, it's on. All right. If David was to make a Manjushri statue, the tip of the head's gonna have to touch the moon. You can laugh. I laugh. No bad karma. You can laugh. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. If FG was to make a statue on Avalokiteshvara to counter anger, she's going to have to make one that reaches from here to Pluto. Is that the farthest planet in our universe, Pluto? Yeah, Pluto. So her Avalokiteshvara, the tip of the head touches Pluto. If she makes that, maybe some anger go away. Don't laugh like that, you evil, glassy one. When I think about Beautiful Stranger Madonna's video, I was thinking about him. Does he look like that guy driving the car? Does he look like the glasses? Exactly the same. You seen the Beautiful Stranger video? Get it and look at it. I tell you, it's Wai Ming with yellow hair. That's right, Wai Ming with yellow hair. It really is. And JP was trying to pose as Madonna. It worked until we turned the lights on. James, you shouldn't laugh, you're a Buddhist. You should think, oh my God. He's like, your child's wide awake because we're making B-I-T-C-H-Y jokes. Oh, bitchy jokes. Now what was I before you guys got me off track again? It's all your fault because you laughed. You see, when I crack jokes, don't laugh and I continue. It's not funny, so I stop. If you keep laughing, I don't stop because I'm like stand-up comedian. I'm fed by the audience. Okay, now where was I? Yes, so if you feel despondent, and you feel lazy, and you feel down, and you don't feel enthusiastic, daily, weekly, some people it's maybe once a year, twice a year, some people it's monthly, sometimes weekly, it's a good sign. Do you know why it's a good sign? Let me tell you why. The Dharma blessings is going in. Your Guru's words are penetrating. You know why you're happy? You're afraid your happiness is going to be taken away. Your idea of happiness, not real happiness, is going to be taken away. And you're being challenged. And when you reach a point where you're going to the next step, listen carefully. This happens in deep retreats. When you're going to the next step, to the next attainment, a lot more obstacles come out. A lot. There are even people in retreat, they give up retreat and they throw their malas in a retreat and they run. They say, I'm not going to do it. Then after they recover, they're okay. With some pujas and some meditation, they're okay. Oh yes, there are people like that. It's nothing. There's nothing. So when we feel like that, we should actually be happy. Look at it, watch our mind and say, what else is new? This is what we do with everything in our life. Everything. Everything in life. So it's just added to the list. And this shows us not the Dharma is good or bad, or our children is good or bad, or our husband and wife is good or bad. It doesn't show that. It shows our mind and its level. So when that happens, contrary to what you should think, you should be happy. Let your mind rest. Don't think too much. Recite some light mantras. Watch TV. And just relax. It will pass. That's what I did. That's what Geshe Turim Gyaltsen told me to do when I was in LA. And that happened to me in Gondin too. A couple of times. Severe depression. So that's it. I actually packed up my bags and ran away to Hubli. I know, confessions of a confessions from a monastery, okay. I actually packed up my bags about 2 times and ran away to Hubli and locked myself in a hotel. They came and found me. They were at the door and they're like, and I was in that fault. I said, go away, nobody here, go away. Trying to speak Hindi, they say, it's you, Rinpoche, open the door. And I got all kinds of tricks to get people away. Yeah, I did that twice. And then the second time I did that, Kenshin Ji sent people to look for me. I stayed in another hotel. I stayed in this hotel called Shringar Hotel. Because I used to stay in Nataraj, I stayed in Shringar. They couldn't find me for 2-3 days because I switched different hotels. Because I was planning to get my ticket and run away to Delhi, and from there I don't know where. I was thinking somewhere in the blue-green pastures where there's no Dharma, no gurus, no statues, no practice, no meditation, no retreat, no telling me I'm a bad person. Just run away someplace that I could be happy with myself. That's what I was thinking at that time. Does that sound logical? Anyway, I was switching hotels. There was 3 hotels, Nataraj, Shringar, there's one more, I can't remember that hotel's name. So I switched. And it was becoming dangerous because there were more monks. Kenshin Ji was sending more monks to look for me, so I'm not going in a small town. It was all over, so if I go this way, and then some more, the rickshaw driver I used, his name is James. He knows all the monks, so they cornered him. You better tell us where Guruji is. And he's like, I don't know. They said, we know you know. And then they asked the store people, they asked the restaurant people, did he come here to eat? Did he come here? Did his driver come here? Did he buy? They said, yeah, we saw him. He went that way. They went that way. Oh, they went all over, they tracked me down. Finally, they found me in Shringar Hotel. I was locked in there with my towel and everything, and I was packing to, I couldn't even go to the train station to get my ticket. I'm not kidding. Everywhere there were monks looking for me. And a part of me was like, smell, I'm important too. But a bigger part of me was, I wanted to get away. It's so hard to study. It's so hard to follow the disciplines. I don't want to give up being a monk, no. Just a monastery. It was so hard. And I realized what it was. And so Kenshin Ji sent his messenger and said to me, if I don't come back tonight, he himself personally will come to Hubli to bring me back. So when I heard that, I dare not already. I went back. Why? That is very bad. To have your guru come down and beg you to come back. To have your guru come and tell you, please come back and beg you, and make Kenshin Ji come for a 1-hour journey to Hubli to see me. You see, even though I was like depressed, despondent, I want to give up, deep down inside, I had deep respect for my guru. I dare not. So when he said that, I went back. When I went back there, I thought I'm going to get a big song and dance about how bad I am, purification practice, 35 confessional Buddhas, all that stuff. He said to me, okay, go downstairs, have a nice meal, take a bath, and relax. I said, that's it? He said, yes. He said, relax your mind. And that's what I did. He never talked about it again, the second time, never said anything. Not because he was afraid, because Kenshin Ji is well known for scolding. Well known for scolding students. Let me tell you, he'll scream. I got screamed at many times. I just visualize his Dakini songs. Yeah. He didn't, and I realized that's my mind. So when we experience this, don't worry. Dharma students to help Dharma students. That's what my monk friends did. They all helped me. They came and said, how are you? They brought me food. They didn't talk about anything. They just let it go on. Why? There's nothing to talk about. We go through this. It's like having a flu. Hey, how's your flu? What you get? What you take? Who cares? Just let it pass. So Dharma students should support Dharma students with love and care and understanding. And never let one Dharma student just pass away. We must call them, SMS them, and see them, and show them love and care. We must always do that. Why? We go up and down, up and down. It's normal. It's normal. When we feel down and depressed, we let our mind rest and relax. We don't want to do Dharma anymore. We don't want to help. We don't want to do anything anymore. We don't want to pray. We don't want to sponsor. We don't want to prostrate. It's okay. Just say to your mind, it's okay. Why? Because our good quality will come up again. The very first reasons why we help, we pray, we sponsor, we took refuge, we go to the center, those qualities are still in us. They will come out again. They will definitely come out again. So just relax. That's for general people. I'm not talking about controlled, scary, monster, angry freaks who for 6, 7, 8 years go on and on and on with their anger and they never change. Those people, there's a different kettle of fish. Completely different. You don't apply that. Just normal people like some of you and me. Did you hear that? Normal people like some of you, some, and me. It's alright. I know it's not embarrassing. Big fat Rinpoche sitting on the throne used to run away to Hubei and be a big crybaby. Oh, confessions of a monastic. Oh, never mind, whatever. I'm not embarrassed. Why? Why should I be? I'm not trying to pretend to be a Buddha. They told me I'm a Rinpoche. I told them, are you sure? In fact, after they announced I'm a Rinpoche and they enthroned me, I didn't like it because there was so much protocol. Can't go out without attendance, cannot do this, cannot dress that, cannot go here, cannot this, that, act like that. To learn the rituals, put you on the throne in the middle of the monastery, you gotta ring the bell, everybody's looking at you, you mess up, they're like, I'm a Rinpoche, you can't laugh, They're like, they laugh even louder. I had one little Rinpoche, a little Nazi one, small one, when some girls were making fun of him, he said, you can't make fun of me, I'm Yamataka, I'm his emanation. That we call it Yamataka La. That's right, he said, you can't say that to me, you can't tease me, I'm a Rinpoche. They say, oh, big deal, you gotta prove you're a Rinpoche. You can't say that. They said, prove it. He said, I'm an emanation of Yamataka. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, brother. I said, come here, Yamataka. Yamataka, slap. That's right. And Yamatakas have 34 arms. I didn't get 34 slaps back. I slapped that Yamataka. Slap, 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 slap. 9 slaps for each of his face. Slap. 9 faces, what? After that, I said, are you Yamataka? He says, no. That's right. So I don't presume to be Yamataka, or I don't presume to be Hiruka, Vajragini, or Buddha. I presume to be a monastic with my faults and problems. But maybe my previous life I practiced a little bit more than some of you people. Some, maybe. So I have more enthusiasm. But I don't presume. So when I get depressed, I get down, it's okay. Last time I was embarrassed, this time I'm not. Oh, there's more things. There's more details I'm not going to write. I did some attention things, I showed one of my students, I'm so depressed, I showed him a razor blade. He went, oh, you're not going to do that, are you? And I was like, I didn't say yes or no, I let him think it. I needed some attention. I needed someone to tell me that I'm important. That I matter too. And I got it. But I did that once or twice, I didn't do it too many. If you do this smell thing that you're very important all the time, after a while people don't want to smell, bye-bye. You can't keep forcing people to recognize you're important and get attention. You can't. It finishes. After a while, people don't want to give you attention. You give me aspirin. After a while, Pentagon, people are not going to give you attention. You'll run out. People are not going to entertain you anymore. People are not going to listen to you anymore. People are not going to believe you anymore. People are not going to have confidence or do things with you anymore. Not because they don't like you. Not because they want to hurt you. Because they don't trust you, and every time you're involved, you mess up everything. So they don't want to get involved with you anymore, not because they hate you, because you've done it so many times that if they want to start something new and move on, they can't because you keep dragging people down. So that's what we need to know. That's what we need to know. Compassion is a stupidity. So when we're feeling down and we're feeling unhappy, it's okay. It is alright. Why is it alright? We felt like that about many, 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 many things. many times. Let it pass. Make offerings on our altar happily. We don't feel like making, no problem. No problem at all. Thank you. I get incredible fevers when I teach Dharma. The very big fevers always. When I was finished, before Dharma, no fever. After Dharma, no fever. Incredible doing that. I don't know why. It's been going on for years. I think it's psychosomatic. I was thinking about talking to psychologists. I was afraid they'll tell me, because you're teaching what you don't practice, so you're nervous people find out that's why you got a fever. I don't want people to tell me that. I'm scared. No, I'm not. I get incredible fevers. Don't worry. I like Panadol. If I stop buying Panadol stocks go down. That's right. So, when you find it difficult for Dharma, when you find it difficult to understand, different perspective. How incredible the mind of Buddha is. How incredible the followers of Buddha is, like the Dalai Lama, Rinpoche, how incredible. Where they can teach us things that's so difficult to understand and even more harder to do. But they do it. They understand it. Doesn't that tell me that there is something higher than me? So if there is something higher than me, listen carefully, use inferential logic again. If there is something higher than me, and the higher than me tells me to do this, and I can't, then I should push myself to do it. Because if this higher than me knows more on that, they must know more on this also. Because we can't be selective on what they know and don't know. What we like, they know, we follow. What we don't like, we don't follow. They don't know, or we pretend. That won't get us progress. That won't get us progress in school. That won't get progress in our marriage, in our house, in our friendship, in our life. It won't get us progress. We can't be selective. So that's very logical. You have to think about it. Okay, then I found in the teachings here, which is very profound, something that talks about remaining the way we are. I'm not going to tell you where it is. I'm going to wait for someone to tell me what page it's on. It talks about something about remaining the way we are and the dangers of that. Remind me, I want to talk to you about the Kichara paradise, how to get there, even without leaving afflicted emotions behind. Purifying all one's karma. We can still get there. By the way, all these teachings in this book, and I'm basing on this, arises from Lord Buddha's perfect speech, and the perfect speech on the 12 interdependent links arises from the Seedling Sutra that Lord Buddha gave. So I'm giving you the source. Very good. I want to have a special class on this book, by the way, but I'll talk about that after. What I want to do is this. Actually, I want to take a register of names for people who seriously want to study this book, and I want to give more in-depth teachings on this privately. That is separate from the book club. Of course, we're going to continue because I read through this and it is hard, but it's not hard. Let me just explain it to all of you. It would take a few days, a few sessions. So what I want to do is I want to have a special class for this book and for people who want to attend it. Where it's going to be dependent on the number of people. I don't care about the number of people. Where it's going to be dependent on number, but you can't miss this class. How many days it's going to be, I don't know. We'll plan it as we go along. Means, this time we meet on Wednesday, next time we meet next Thursday, something. But I want to give a more detailed teaching and explanation on this precious book. It's really, really, really fabulous. It's fabulous because it really pinpoints our problems. So I would like to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Jenny, the liaison, to take role for that. And I'm going to be very serious this time. I'm going to take examples of the teachings they gave in Los Angeles. Those who wish to attend this class with respect must pay 150 ringgits. If you attend every single class and you finish it, your 150 ringgits will be refunded back to you with a kata and an incense for you to make offerings and dedications for attending the class. For those of you who miss even one class, your money will be offered up to Bandin Monastery. So those who are very committed and usually are good for commitments, no problem at all. No problem. So let me repeat again. Those who wish to attend this class may attend. Where, I will tell you. When, I will tell you. I will personally conduct this class. It will not be writing and all that stuff. It will be giving you talk page by page. I want to go through this book page by page, and I want to explain it to you and ask questions and talk. I want you to understand this. Something as profound as 12 interdependent links is very important for our practice, and it helps us cut through karma, and also taught by the greatest monk on the planet. So there's no problem, which is going to be explained to you by me. All right, never mind. Like I said, bottom of the barrel is better than no barrel, nothing at the bottom of the barrel, right? So bottom of the barrel, not better than nothing at the barrel, right? Yes, Mr. Ngao, like that's true. You're below me at the barrel. No, just kidding. He was sitting next to me at the barrel, though. He rubbed his head a little too much against me, so I stick my head up. All right, so for those who wish to attend, and this will apply for outside people, no exceptions. $150. Put it in an angpao, seal it, put your name on it. No, don't seal it, because I'm going to make sure it's there. I don't trust you. And if you want to put more, never mind, and miss class on purpose so I can keep the money, also can not. Just SMS me, say I'm going to miss it on purpose. I'll come a little late, keep it loud. Okay, thank you. No, not allowed. Put it in an angpao, no sealing, because I'm going to count it. No, she's going to count it. I'm not interested in counting. If it's not mine, why count it? Why make myself suffer? Look at things I can't have. Right? Right. Put your name on it. Put your IC, put your hair, put a piece of your clothing, the time you were born, your parents' name, put everything on. Just me. Put your name on it. And tell her, and I'll let you know when, by SMS. This class will be called the Wheel of Life class. And I'll allow it to be taped and filmed. And I will go through page by page what I know about this. At the end of the class, could be a few days, I don't know. It's not consecutive, we'll decide together. Then you get your money back with your kata and an incense back. Like I said, to offer to the Buddhas, to dedicate to understand this. It's very powerful. Those who miss even one class, I don't care. I don't care if your grandmother's boyfriend bought a new Merc and you need to go celebrate at a party. I don't care how important it is. I don't care if you live in Kajang and there's traffic and it's raining and it takes you 5 hours to get here. I don't care. I keep 150 ringgit on behalf of the monastery. And if you can call up the admin. Did he give you the money? You can check out if you dare. They're like, it's a trick. I don't believe them. It's a trick. And then at the end you get that. If you miss it, it will be donated to the monastery. I want to make these teachings very serious because I don't want to hear any belly aching, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear it. Why don't I want to hear it? We should treasure Dharma. Let me tell you all something. I'm alive. I'm in front of you. I'm breathing. I'm relatively healthy. Take advantage of it. Get as much teachings as you can from me. When I have pujas and activities, show up. And when I give you practices, do it. In front of me, do your practice as much as possible. If you mess up, I can correct you and help you. After I'm gone and dead, you can pray at home. You can pray in the mountain. You can pray in the cave. You can go on pilgrimage. You can do anything you want after I'm dead. Why? That's all you can do. Unless you go back to the barrel and find something better. I'm sure you will. I'm alive. Don't make excuses. I'm here. It is due to the efforts of many people that I'm here. And in return for their kindness, I must do my job. I'm here, and I speak your language. You don't have to give me my visa. You don't have to pay for my ticket. You don't have to do anything for me. Nothing. I'm here. Take advantage of it. Don't lose your chance. I'm not that great, but get what you can out of me before you move on. Remember that. After I am dead, do as you like, wherever you like, whatever practice you think you're doing. And focus strongly. When Tsem Rinpoche passed away, it was the most difficult day of my life. But I continue. So don't make excuses for missing Dharma or any activities. Do not. Do not. In Tibet, we have a very special status for sponsors. I realized that. I learned that from Khyentse Rinpoche. We call them Jindat. When a person is confirmed and says, I'm your sponsor, the sponsor doesn't just give money. The sponsor also gives emotional support to the Lama, emotional support to the group, emotional support to the Lama's entourage. The sponsors are very caring and loving. So what happens is, wherever the Lama travels, the sponsor may travel with the Lama without eliciting any jealousy from people. Why? Because of the kindness of the sponsor, everyone may have the Dharma. When the person becomes a Lama sponsor, then the sponsor may come to the Lama's house. The sponsor may be involved in his affairs. The sponsor may talk to him about what he needs and have plans and to do this and do that. Why? They're the sponsor. And the sponsor is someone who's very devoted. The sponsor is very looked upon by everyone. And the sponsor is very respected by everyone due to their kindness in sponsoring, not for money. That their generosity to give instead of keep. And the sponsor has what we call special privileges in relations with the Lama's works. Why is that? Because they have given that much of themselves. So the Tibetans praise that, because without sponsorship, Dharma cannot grow. When Lord Buddha held out his begging bowl for the first time, it was a sign for Buddhists from now until the end of Buddhism to beg. There is no dishonor in begging. There is no shame in begging. There is no getting tired of begging. And for people being begged from who give, you shouldn't be tired of giving. You shouldn't be tired of helping. Why? When Buddha put his begging bowl out, it was a sign for us to beg. To beg makes us humble, even if you sit on a high throne. To beg makes us realize the kindness of all that we have comes from others, and to practice for their benefit. And those who give should feel honored to give. Why? Because of them, so much Dharma that they cannot do is being done for them. Whether they fully realize the benefits or not, it doesn't matter. The Lama realizes and the Lama will do for them. Again and again and again. And Lamas usually are very appreciative and very, they remember the kindness of sponsors again and again and again. And they will manifest their remembrance of that again and again. Why? Why? Not because the sponsor gave the Lama money, because the Lama can see many smiling faces. Many people who need help, financial help, emotional help, a place to go. And many organizations and departments open because of that sponsorship. And because so many people become happy, the Lama is happy. Therefore, the Lama shows the happiness to the sponsors. The Lama is not happy for himself. No Lama, no real Lama is happy for himself when he gets sponsorship, because it's responsibility. Real Lamas will take the sponsorship offered to the deities, will not keep it. Will never dare to use it on their own. Never. Real Lamas will never do that. Why? They know to take money from people and not do something well with it, it is very dangerous karma, even for Lamas. Buddha didn't make an exception for Rinpoches. Everybody must follow the law of karma. No exceptions. So and the sponsor has special responsibility to also receive the Rinpoche. If the sponsor picks up the Rinpoche, that's fine. If the sponsor doesn't pick up, when the Rinpoche comes, the sponsor must go down, offer incense, and escort the Rinpoche in. If the sponsor is a monk or a nun, they'll wear the yellow hat and they're escorted with incense, representing like 1,000 Buddhas coming. Because that hat is supposed to have 1,000 threads representing the 1,000 Buddhas to come. So when that monk wears that hat and invites the Lama in, it's like 1,000 Buddhas are coming in the form of my Guru to give teachings. So when I went to Ganden, I wore the hat to invite His Holiness the Dalai Lama in. I'm the sponsor. On behalf of all of us. Because we can't have all of you wearing hats, can we? We look like a bunch of yellow chickens. So I escorted His Holiness in to represent all of us. And when the sponsor enters, the sponsor will make 3 prostrations on behalf of everyone and offer a kata and offer the 3 forms of long life to the Lama and request the Lama, I sponsor you. Please turn the wheel of Dharma for everyone. And it's a great honor. Why is it a great honor? Because the Lama is doing what the sponsor cannot do. And the Lama and the Lama is doing what the sponsor cannot do. And the sponsor and the Lama also is doing something that the sponsor cannot do. The sponsor makes the money the Lama cannot do. Shouldn't do. And vice versa. So there's a special relationship. Once you get the title Jinda, because I saw that with Banan Rinpoche. Banan Rinpoche is a very holy Lama. His statue is inside my room. Bring here. He's here. And whenever he came to give teachings in Drepung Monastery, he would always come with a Swiss lady sponsor. She was a Tibetan lady, very gentle. She wore a chuba, she come by herself. She didn't have much family members. She would sponsor the whole teachings for 1 month or 2 months or whatever for Banan Rinpoche. This is one of my gurus, Banan Rinpoche, where I received a lot of oral transmissions from. So when Banan Rinpoche came, she would always come. She would invite him from his house. In fact, I met her and I talked to her. And sorry, my alarm clock went off. You know what it says? Let me tell you. It says, let me find it first and I'll tell you what it says. I was saying, whose phone is that? So rude, but it's mine. Now, it says, it is 11:15. Have you done your 4th meditation session today yet? See the kind of reminders I have on my phone? Not like, you guys, go meet my friend, eat this. Mine says, have you done your 4th meditation session yet today? Don't forget what my phone said. Oh, darn, I pressed it, I couldn't show you. Oh, well. You're going to have to believe me on face value. Don't I look like I meditate 4 times a day? Susan meditates 3 times a day. She meditates only on green deities made of paper. Low blow. Oh, she's alright. She's the tough cookie. She doesn't mind. Boyce is smiling. I never seen. You lost a lot of weight, and he's smiling too. I never see Boyce. He's always like. I don't know. Everybody got their own little Masita expressions. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So she would actually fly in, make sure the prayer hall is okay, make offerings to the monks, make sure Rinpoche has his car, make sure Rinpoche has new robes, make sure he has all the necessities and everything is paid for, and even make sure that the monks are taken care of in his house. Then when she would come together in the car with Rinpoche, she was very humble. She wasn't like, oh look, I'm with Rinpoche, very humble. And she would come up to the monastery in front of thousands of monks, and she would offer incense, very low like that, very humble, and escort her Rinpoche, and she was very proud. Proud of what? I am so fortunate to have my Lama, and I'm so fortunate to share my Lama, and I'm so fortunate to sponsor the teachings for my Lama for all of you. And she would walk in with the incense, and the Lama would sit down. She would make 3 prostrations, make the offerings, and then she would sit down. And the monastery always had a special seat for her because she was a sponsor, and she would be in front. That's after it was confirmed. And for the rest of Rinpoche's life, she took care of him. Anything he needed. I met her. She said, I want to build Rinpoche a house, and he keeps refusing me. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I won't refuse. But I already have a house. I said, why? She said, I don't know. He refuses me. Why? And a short while later, Rinpoche passed away. His incarnation is back. Recognized by His Holiness. She used to tell me that I met her directly. And wherever Rinpoche traveled in India or wherever, even if Rinpoche went for other teachings like Dalai Lama, she would sponsor everything. She would take care of everything. No one needed to talk or say anything. She would take care of it. Everything. His clothes, his food, whatnot. And everybody knew because it would say, Jinda. Jinat means what? The special patron. Oh yeah, that's better. Patron of the Lama. So once the Lama gives that title to a person, it's for life. And everybody will look upon that person as a sponsor. And if the sponsor is alright, and the sponsor's family is alright, and everything's alright, then they will have confer the title and offer. So when a sponsor travels with Rinpoche or has a connection or does things or talks, discuss, everybody will understand what they're doing. No problem at all. And then from the Rinpoche side, it makes it very easy for him to convey the Dharma to many, many people. And from the sponsor side, the sponsor does the greatest job that the sponsor can ever do. Is not just build statues and temples, but to actually sponsor the Dharma talks. They have that special relationship. And I've seen it. My father is a sponsor of Chungsa Rinpoche twice. Previous life and this life. He sponsored Chungsa Rinpoche until he became a Geshe again and did his examinations. He built a house for him. He sponsored his trips, his clothes, even Chungsa Rinpoche's previous life's items, silver and gold and butter lamps and statues. My father went personally to Tibet, brought it all out, brought it to Taiwan, and flew to Drepung Monastery in Mungot and offered to his guru again. I saw. In fact, I used to, and in the monastery, my father built a special house for Chungsa Rinpoche. So Chungsa Rinpoche would not say anything, or demand, or want, or even nothing. My father would take care of everything. And even in Tibet, my father sponsored Chungsa Rinpoche's monastery, and to rebuild his quarters because they were destroyed during the revolution. Everything's ready. And my father did it personally, because my father is an ex-monk. He's an ex-monk of Drepung Monastery, student of Chungsa Rinpoche. So, and I know some Rinpoche have many sponsors. Many, many. How much they have, they do. So once this title is conferred and sealed, it's like that. So the sponsor supports the Rinpoche financially as much as they can, as best as they can, and they're confirmed. So the Rinpoche and the Rinpoche students know where to go to for help. So that at least the Rinpoche's Ladrang is alright. So the Rinpoche's Ladrang don't have to go begging. Help, 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 help. Because it's very undignified to always beg for your Rinpoche's Ladrang. Always ask. And a Rinpoche's Ladrang is not a layman's house where you have a fixed income and fixed children and fixed expenses. A Rinpoche's Ladrang expands and grows and becomes bigger. More students, more people, more jobs. So of course, sponsorship increases. Sponsor can or cannot increase, sponsorship increases. That's very, very logical. Why? The more they have, the more they can do. And so, there's a special relationship. But this relationship is not officially said or done. No matter how much is given or how much is said, until everything is totally clear and no obstacles. For the sponsor, especially. Until then, the Rinpoches remain quiet. And it is for the Rinpoches to announce, this is my sponsor. They've sponsored this, they've given this much, they've done this. The Rinpoches will announce to the Sangha and to the people and offer kantas and say thanks. It is not for the sponsor to announce. Never. If the sponsor announces, it can be from pride, or it can create obstacles, or other people go disturb them. Because once Rinpoche says, this person's my sponsor, it is understood no one disturbs them. No one. No one asks. So the Rinpoche's personal attendants or liaisons, who say Tibetan Changses, will go to the sponsor and say, oh, Rinpoche's traveling here, Rinpoche needs this, Rinpoche buy this. Is it alright? And discuss. Sometimes sponsors say, oh, I don't have enough to cover the budget. Then they say, no problem. It's not to say, oh, they need this, yeah, I can cover. They talk like that, they do like that. It is for the Rinpoche's own liaisons to contact the sponsors. No one else is supposed to. That's after it's signed and sealed. The sponsors never say, I sponsor. Never. Because it breaks the code of humility. And when we let people know, then one person will say, help me, another person help me, another person help me, another person help me, then the sponsors and help have a lot of problems. Because everybody needs help. Everybody needs help. And also, when you start telling other people, I do this, I do that, I do this, you also bring your Lama down. Why do you bring your Lama down? It looks very cheap. You're sponsoring for Dharma. You're not sponsoring a beauty pageant where I'm the sponsor. You're sponsoring a holy Lama for the holy Dharma. So we don't announce, we don't say, we don't send any hints, we don't tell anyone, we don't say nothing. And then once it's confirmed and it's safe, the Rinpoche will definitely announce. Definitely, that's on the tradition of Bandhan Monastery. So there's a way of doing things. But it's very hard in a foreign country outside of the Buddhist tradition because a lot of people are not bad, they don't know. They don't know. So So all the Rinpoches can do is patiently and with time and lovingly explain and gently say, do like this, do like this, do like this, patiently. Even if they do things wrong, the Rinpoche swallows it. Why? They don't know. So that's how we acquire sponsorships and sponsor teaching. And also, if you want to go one step further, the sponsors also doing special talks, not these normal ones, special talks in the future, special initiation. The sponsor has a great duty. The sponsor will also provide everything that Rinpoche needs ritually. It's not very expensive. But in Tibet it was, because it's hard to get. For the initiation. Also, the sponsor will provide enough space and cushions, if necessary, a tent. I mean, that's Tibet. So that people can fit. The sponsors will make sure that people who come from far away have a place to stay. And the sponsors will also make sure that they have cushions, they have the books, they have the materials, and everything they need for the talk, for the initiation, for the Dharma teaching. Everything. And the sponsors will even make sure that the poorer members of the Rinpoche's students who are very devoted, they'll talk to the Lajang people and arrange something to help them to receive teachings. Why? Because the sponsors have found something very precious in their Lama, and they wish to spread this to many people. Why? They cannot teach. And by spreading to other people, they bring the biggest benefit to themselves and their family. Sponsorship in Tibet is not something that's painful and hard. It is an honor. And it's something people jump after. Not like, here, can you donate, can you help me? Yeah. All kind of noise. Why? They're not bad, they don't know the benefit. They don't know the benefit. So once the Lama and the sponsor have this relationship, and once they talk, the Lama will announce, this is my sponsor. Due to this person's kindness, I have this, and I can do this. Either the Lama announces or the main Changzi, the main liaison will announce. And then the main liaisons of the Lajang assistants will keep the relationship with the sponsor. While the Lamas will do meditations and prayers and do their own thing, they will take care of that. So I would like to do something like that here. That's why I don't get involved with sponsors much. Why? I don't want to disturb them. If I say, give me this, it will give them a lot of pressure. If I have my assistants do it and talk to them, if they can, they can. They cannot, no pressure. It's respect. Outwardly, it's respect. Inwardly, it's respect. No pressures. And on another stance, on a spiritual level, the Lamas are meant to do Dharma work. They're not meant to talk about money and raising funds. When we have to raise funds for a Lajang, it's quite pitiful. It's quite sad. Why? It means that Dharma teachings of the Lama is not successful. Not successful. Or the students are not successful in their practice to attract sponsorship. If the Lama is great, you gotta have the reflection of greatness what? One of them is financial capacity to grow. Is that very simple? So the sponsors, why they want to sponsor and do this? Because they have taken refuge in their Lama. That's their Lama. They want to make sure this Lama can do as much as they can in this life. So the Lama does as much Dharma as he can, and the sponsor makes as much money as they can. And they take care of the financial needs, the Lama takes care of the spiritual needs. And together like that, they live their life separately, yet together. And they meet again and again to do this. Ganjin Rinpoche had a sponsor in his previous life. And this family is still sponsoring him in this life. The father has a son, the son now is sponsoring Ganjin Rinpoche. And he does it because his father did. So he's built those huge hospitals and huge rooms and huge temples in Nepal is for that sponsor, by selling carpets. I was sending a spider to see how they make the carpets and we can steal the formula and I can make some money. Open a carpet factory here so I can open up something, you know? That's what it is. So if we're devoted to our Lama, we're devoted to his cause, we must make sure that the Lama and the cause in the group never talks about raising funds, but at least the Lajang. No. For the organization, yes, it's okay. For the Lajang, no. That's why if the Lama is very kind to tell certain students, raise funds for this, raise funds, they should immediately think how to help the Lajang. Why? If we think about the Lajang, how many people does it benefit? How many people does it help? So, in short, once we make this relationship with the sponsor, it is understood from the Lama side that whatever will be discussed with the sponsor travels with the Lama when necessary. It's not like every time the Lama travels, gotta go, Lama go bedroom to toilet, the sponsor's there with incense. No, not crazy like that. Not crazy. No, ridiculous like that. Yes? And then when the Lama comes, the sponsor comes. If there are 2 sponsors, 3 sponsors, all of them bring incense. Why? There's no competition. The sponsors think the more the better. And once that's confirmed, everybody in the Sangha or in the group will not disturb the Sangha for any, or disturb the sponsor for anything ever again. Why? They know that that's taking care of your Lama. If your Lama's okay, everything's going to be okay. And who finds the sponsors is, of course, the students. What do you expect? A Lama to wear a t-shirt? I need a sponsor. Definitely not. And so, those people who have worked for the Lama during the most difficult times is a manifestation of Lama giving you a chance to collect merit. And you sponsor the Lama. Later, when you do business, your business will move up due to the merits of you serving your Lama. Definitely. Those who do not need financial help, they will gain spiritual attainments. Why? You provide the necessities for so many people to gain spiritual attainments. And remember something, this tradition doesn't come from Tibet, from Shakyamuni. It's from Shakyamuni. Every Buddhist country begs. So if we're still begging from our Guru and trying to take from our Guru, we have to stop. We have to give to our Guru. If we cannot give in money or finances, we have to give in service and in more higher Dharma practice. If we still don't give money to our Guru to help in his Dharma work, finances, and we still don't give in practice, we always disappoint, we always hurt, we always fight, we always, whatever instruction you give us, we still break, you still cannot give. The highest giving is the practice. Why? If you practice, you will attract even more sponsors. So if you don't have anything to give, you will attract sponsors. You will attract people who can give because they look at you and say, who's your teacher? How come you have so much knowledge? How come you're so good? Even our old friends will say, how come you changed so much and now you're still like that? Huh? Why? Of course they won't come to the Dharma. Of course not. So if you can't give in financial means, you give in the most highest means. Both is better. Spiritual practice. Transformation. Even if you cannot give that, then what's left? What do you give? Why are you around your Guru? Why? You don't give, only take. So then your respect, people respect you, look, will all go down. And you will create the karma to go away. Even Lama wants you, cannot will go away. Why? You create that. So the sponsor can travel with the Rinpoche. We'll discuss about teachings, discuss future plans, what's going on. We'll escort the Rinpoche here and there. And also, anytime the sponsor sponsors anything, the Rinpoche will take the notice and read. Bana Rinpoche in the middle of teachings always spread out everything that's been sponsored. And this lady from Swiss not only sponsored Rinpoche, she sponsored every teaching session, breakfast, lunch, and dinner she sponsored. In fact, if there's other sponsors, she say, please let me, please let me. And I say, why? Because I'm old. Because I'm going to die soon. And I need to collect merit. She's okay in Switzerland, quite wealthy. So she said, no, let me. The people say, no, they came from far away one time. She said, okay, never mind. If you need to cover, let me know, okay? I watched this. I was like, wow. So much humility and so much Dharma. This is an ordinary lady. And she says, I don't practice much. I do my practice and I do my sadhanas. And she says, my main practice is to make sure my Rinpoche is okay. When her Rinpoche died, I did not see her. I know she'll be devastated. He died before her. Although she was older. Around the same age. In any case, and then people don't disturb the sponsor. There's this relationship, and the Rinpoche will announce, not the sponsors. The sponsors never announce what they gave, what they give, never say why. It is not their job. It is a job of their Rinpoches when it's all been established. So there's humility, there's practice, and you collect merits. And there's a system. So I try to do that slowly, but I can't enforce everything. But at least the Buddhistic principles I try to enforce. Tibetan principles I don't enforce. I'm not Tibetan. But Buddhistic I do. And the Lama has asked you, like that. He will gradually announce, he will gradually talk, he will gradually open up why. He will make sure everything's safe for you now and in the future. Just stay awake. He'll always make sure. He will think of you in his mind to make sure you're alright. You're alright. The Lama will never harm you. And the Lama asks you to find sponsorship for this project, instead of delaying, instead of being afraid, instead of thinking you can't, you don't do, don't want, avoid, don't update, don't do. The Lama is opening your ability to do that. The Lama knows you can. You may not know you can, but sometimes the Lama knows more than you. So the Lama asks you to do it. By hook or crook, do it. When I was in Los Angeles, when we bought food for Sovereignty, sometimes there wasn't enough money. I would top it off with my small salary. I wouldn't tell anybody. Why? This is to my group. It's very important. And money is a fact of life. Money is a fact of Dharma. There's nothing to be embarrassed and ashamed about. But never bring your Lama to the level that he has to beg or speak about it. Never. If the Lama asks you to raise funds for one thing, leave it at that and raise funds. Check FMPT site, how they raise funds, what they write, what they say. Never ask the Lama to do it. And never let the Lama repeat to you, raise funds, because why? He's opening that ability in you. And if you give funds for the Lama, if it's the correct Lama, I'm not saying I am, if you give, definitely the Lama will turn that around to benefit more people. More people that you can ever benefit in your lifetime. Sponsorship is a fact of life. It is a fact of life. It's real. Remember, reiterate one more time. It comes from Lord Buddha, who started it with his begging bowl. And it's in every Buddhist country. Every Buddhist shrine, every Buddhist statue, like the Kamakura Buddha in Japan, everywhere is sponsored by someone. The Kamakura Buddha was sponsored by one shogun's wife who missed her husband so much, and she sponsored the whole statue in his memory so people can collect merit for him. The great Amitabha Buddha in Kamakura. That's it. So there's a system, there's a way of doing things, and the Lama will definitely do it. Remember, the Lama has a lot of things on his plate, so sometimes it takes time. And the Lama has a whole culture to find, a whole culture to educate, a whole system, and a whole new group. If it was in a Tibetan system, none of this would need to be talked about or explained. No need. Why? Everybody knows. It's cultural. 1,000-year Buddhism. But in another culture, Lama has to explain and talk and help and do it slowly. Why? So that everyone collects merit, everyone is happy, everyone knows how to do it, and everyone gets the benefit. That's why. Slowly, system by system. Every time you attend a Dharma talk, you learn something. Either method or Dharma. Every time you attend, you leave, you learn something. You go, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's useful. That's my job. One day when I run out, I'll sponsor you to give teachings. Did you see me walking with Mr. Ngok? I wear my hat. That's right. One day. Never know what. Everybody can be a teacher. So, we think that in our current situation, I'm taking this from here and I'm going to give a little more explanation. I'm not going to go over page by page. It's too much. It's profound. And I'm excited to go in detail and systematically. Okay, I will go over it. Don't worry. So, and I'm excited to go over it because I haven't been this excited in a while. I have a very horrible, nasty attitude. I'm like, read it, done it, heard it. But now this one's fabulous. So, we may think we're okay. We may think we're all right. We may think we're comfortable the way we are. But listen to this. I'm okay making this amount of money, being at home and doing this. I'm all right. I'm healthy. I have enough money. I have enough whatever, and I'm okay. I don't have to push it more. I'm all right. I'm okay if I don't spend money. I'm okay if I'm miserly, because if I do this, I can save. I don't have to spend. I don't have to give more. I'm all right like this one. Then there are other people who think I don't have to do more practice. Why should I do more practice? It's hard to do more practice. Excuse me. It's hard to do more meditations and retreats. It's hard to control myself. Why should I? I'm okay like this one. Lama says things are going to be wrong, things are not going to be right, it's not good, it's bad karma, but I'm okay what? Everything's alright what? I don't have reason to practice deeper. I don't have reason to change myself. All the time we have this kind of thinking. A few things happen. A, when we are comfortable, this is likened to the second link in the interdependent teachings, where the man is making the pottery and he makes the pottery wheel just spin. Okay? When we are comfortable, oh rats, I told you where it was. darn. Never mind. That one slipped. That really slipped. No, because after I was good, who knows? All right, second link, you know where to look. Look, see, she's flipping her page. Look, Miss Orange Evil there. All right, immediately she's like, second link, I know where. All right, no. Next time I won't be so dumb. I'll do extra Manjushri. If we remain as we are, comfortable in our laziness, comfortable in our miserliness, comfortable in our anger, comfortable in our not wanting to change our habits that disturb others, if we're comfortable in that, it is a suffering of not knowing we're suffering. Because to maintain that comfort, we also need a lot of negative karma. A lot of negative karma. Why is it that we need a lot of negative karma? Because that comfort eventually and ultimately takes us away from real security and comfort. So when we're comfortable being annoying, we're comfortable being naggy, if we're comfortable being miserly, we're comfortable. Let's take miserly. If we're comfortable being miserly, at this moment I have $100 in the bank, I'm not going to share, I'm not going to give, no one knows, everybody pays for me, everybody does for me. And do, never mind. If we have this kind of attitude, we're comfortable right now, but that attitude of miserliness arises from the mind that imputes or thinks that by keeping wealth, I will be happy. So the mind is imputing on an external material object to gain internal permanent happiness. So how can external impermanent phenomenon such as wealth bring internal stable happiness? So when we have an attachment to wealth and we're miserly, when we're attached to it, it creates tremendous negative karma each day that we are in that mode of thought. Why? Each day when we're in that mode of thought, the Buddha teaches the way to release ourselves is non-attachment. So when we are attached to anything and we justify it, we are actually contradicting Lord Buddha's attainments, which he taught from. That these type of attitudes will not help you to gain higher attainments or higher thoughts. That's one. Second is, when we're continuously miserly, what the Dalai Lama here describes as immediate effect and ultimate effect. They use different words here because Jeffrey Hawkins used very big words. The immediate effect is that people around us will be on the alert. And people around us will feel uncomfortable. And people around us will always feel we're calculative. They may not like us. They may not want to be around us. And they might find it difficult to be friends or to be closer. And we suffer the immediate result of loneliness, suspicion, and even when we are generous, people don't appreciate it. Why? Because we make a track record for ourselves. Similarly, at the same time, when we are miserly, the worst part of it is that even without doing anything, we are collecting negative karma. Why is that? Because our mind mode is existing in the state of attachment to external wealth. Attached to external wealth isn't only when people ask you and you say no. It's your mind always thinking no. It's your mind always thinking no. It's your mind always thinking let them pay, let them take over, let them do it for me. I won't do. I won't speak. And if I owe people money, I won't even ask them how much I owe. I let them chase me, and I hope they don't. This type of attitude, even when you're not asked to give money, used to collect tremendous negative karma on a subtle mind basis. And that is very dangerous. Why? Any type of predispositions that's reinforced on a subtle mind basis will manifest again and again and again externally. Why? Your mind is what goes with you from life after life, situation to situation, year after year, month after month. So if you're miserly, staying in that state of miserliness will increase your miserliness and increase your chances of going to the 3 lower realms. Why? Because the time that you give is very little compared to the time that you don't give and you're in the state of not giving. So when you don't give all the time, you don't give, and the few times you give, that few times you give will not be enough to erase the times that you had the attitude of not giving. Therefore, this mental disposition and this karmic effects that comes continuously is very, very strong. So at the time of death, the few times that you gave will not be enough to help you to gain wealth in your future life. But the many times that you had the attitude to constantly not give will overwhelm you to take a negative rebirth, projecting karma in your next life. So people who actually are attached to their wealth and not giving and not helping, they create the very causes to take rebirth in a very negative poverty situation because they live and abide with the attitude of attachment to external phenomenon for happiness. 1. Second, they abide in a state of miserliness consistently and constantly. 2. 3. Their minds are never at peace because they're calculative, they're working, they're thinking, they're operating how to avoid pain, giving, reimbursing all the time. And it becomes a very strong habit where they don't even realize. And that karma is even stronger. Why? You're abiding in this state. And even worse than that is you are reinforcing your habit of miserliness on a very subtle basis. So what happens? You will be very prone to the karmic forces that open up when you're about to take rebirth. And some of this karma, dependent on where you do this, can manifest in this life very soon, very quick. Definitely, that's what this whole thing says. And therefore, if we are lazy and we don't take responsibility and we let other people do it, and even if it's their responsibility, we have this attitude, that's not mine, you do it. And we don't have care, and we don't do our share, and we don't do our work, or we do our work afterwards, pay us, give me something, and take the money. When we do that, it is very dangerous. Why? What are you reinforcing in your mind? These type of people are very dangerous to themselves. Why? Their habit of laziness will become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, even if they sit there and do nothing. Because their attitude is, I don't want to do, let them do. I don't want to work, I don't want to make an effort, I do when they watch me, when they don't watch, I don't do. So what happens is, this state of mind has a false imputation that if I do this, I will become unhappy. If I do this, I will become happy. And it's very strong and it's very conditioned. Therefore, even if they sit there with no one and nothing, but they have this attitude of irresponsibility, immediate result will be people don't want to live with them, associate with them, they definitely don't respect them. And anything that comes up, people won't think about them, and they'll be the subject of taunts and made fun of, and people will look down. They will not have any respect. And everybody wants respect. Everybody wants to be respected and cared for and loved and felt they've done something good. Check your mind. When you do something good, you feel good. When you do something bad, you defend and cover. So that is your mind telling you you are doing something good. And that is good. Why? That's your real nature. So when we're lazy, we let other people clean up, we let other people do it, we don't do our responsibility. When we're pissed off, we don't do it. When we're angry, we don't do it. Or we do it on certain, if we get paid, if we don't get paid, we don't do it. And we're always conditioned to do what we're supposed to do only on certain monetary benefits or some reward. If we do, it's very dangerous. Because this type of person develops a type of mind that the laziness becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And even when they hear the Dharma and they don't want to anymore. And even when they see the result of their laziness, even they want to stop, they cannot stop. And you know what happens? This is the very sad part. They cannot control themselves anymore. They'll reach the point, it's a habit to be lazy. It's a habit to trick. And you know why that's dangerous? Because you automatically make negative karma every single day, every single minute, every single situation. Automatically you make negative karma. Sitting there doing nothing, don't think you don't collect negative karma. Don't think that. This book proves it. Don't think you don't collect negative karma by sitting there doing nothing. Laying at home doing nothing, you collect negative karma. Why? You're born from it. You operate from it. Your mind operates on imputed existence of phenomenon. Your perception of phenomenon is wrong. You're not wrong. Your perception is wrong, as the Dalai Lama says. So therefore, when you're lazy and you have a chance to do something about it and you don't, it will be your self-destruction. Why? Check yourselves from the time you're born up till now, how many times you escaped your actions and what you've done and where it brought you and how old you are. And as time gets on, how come it becomes harder and harder and harder to change? How come? How come every month and every year it becomes more difficult to transform yourself and change? And you become more angry, you can become more defensive, and you find more people go away. If you find you have friends around you, you check what kind of friends. Friends of positive nature that help you go up and you help them go up, or just ha-ha friends, just joke, talk, gossip about politics and nothing. What kind of friends? Those are not friends. Those are people you help to go hell and they help you to go to hell. Those are not friends. So having a lot of people around you, ha ha, he, ha ha, I have friends, what? Wrong. Wrong. Those you say, well, I know me, I'm lazy, I don't have friends. Well, if you don't have, I'm a loner, I don't like friends, I don't want to be with people, I'm that type of person. It's okay, but remember something. Is your Dharma practice and your Dharma progress in your mind advancing when you're alone? Or do you remain stagnant, not moving? You can check. The worst part is, you can take advantage of one person, two person, and make them do things. Your employer, your friend, your husband, your wife, your flatmates, your relatives, your father, mother, you can make them do things for you once in a while. But you will see with time, you will run out of places to ask. Karmically, you will run out. Respect-wise, you'll run out. You'll run out. And you cannot move up. And like I said, remember this, if you check yourselves honestly, you will find changing yourself becomes more and more and more difficult. So what happens is, you're stuck that way. If you're stuck that way, and the karma you create every minute with this attitude, when you die, where do you think you will take rebirth? Where? You think yourself? So, these teachings are very, very profound because they talk about how our mind operates. They talk about how we think and how we form. There are so many more things I want to explain to all of you in this. This is not something that could just be over in a book club. And I guarantee you, after we listen to this, we'll definitely have a new and fresh and wonderful perspective that will help our Dharma practice. Why? The teachings are from Shakyamuni, and they talk about the existence. The center of the wheel talks about hatred, desire, attachment. Hatred, attachment, and ignorance. And the animals' tails all lead back to the pig's mouth, meaning that all arises from ignorance. Then outside of that, you have two black and white sections. One is people doing activity going up. One is doing people activity doing down. One is white, one is black. That is negative activity going up to the higher realms, and the black one is positive activity going up, the white realm, the negative activity going down. Then, surrounding this is the 6 realms of samsara. Surrounding the 6 realms of samsara is the 12 interdependent links, or the 12 types of actions that determine why we still remain in the wheel of samsara. So the 12 actions that are outside determine why we still stay in samsara. Samsara is those 6 realms that are depicted. And within that are the white and black actions that are made by the 12 links on the outside, caused by the pig, the rooster, and the snake. Ignorance, hatred, desire. So it's interconnected. On top of that, you have the Lord of Death. The fierce figure holding this person, holding this realm, is not a god or a deity. It is death. Why, in the end, death will make us take rebirth again and again. Then in the left corner, you will see a beautiful moon, and on the right, you see an emanation of a Buddha pointing. There is liberation. There is a way out. The Dharma wheel was originally created and taught to King Bimbasara by Shakyamuni, because another nearby king had offered silks and precious items to this king, and this king didn't have anything back to offer. So he asked the Buddha what he should do. The Buddha asked him to construct this and make this and offer it with a Dharma talk that was offered back. This is how it came into existence. And from this, we can learn where our emotions and all that arise. Now, if we listen to these teachings, the Wheel of Life Tanka will give us a whole diagram of why we do the things we do, where it comes from, and what is cessation. Okay, that's very important. And what's very beautiful that they point out here, I like very much, is this, is when you look at the upper higher realms, they're in great pleasure. They won't do Dharma. When you have too much of good things, you won't do Dharma, but it's very dangerous, because those good things will be removed one day. They have to be. When you're in the extreme suffering realms, you also won't do Dharma because you're suffering too much. So in the human realm, it is said here, it's very advantageous. Why? Because there's a chance for education. There's a chance for learning. There's a chance for improvement. There's a high chance of that. The dependent arising, a cycle of existence, starts with ignorance. And there are a few types of ignorances. I'm not going to go into details at this time. From that motivates action. From the action arises predispositions. The predispositions arise as cause consciousness and effect consciousness. Then that leads to name and form. From name and form arises sense spheres. From that arises contact. From contact comes feeling. From feeling comes attachment. From attachment comes grasping and wanting more. From grasping, taking rebirth, existence, again and again and again. From birth, then we suffer old age, sickness, and death. And then the cycle continues again and again and again. For example, if we were in a bad reincarnation, that is not in a human lifetime, which is considered a good transmigration, a good rebirth, the action that's mainly generated could have been an act of murder. In that case, the period of ignorance would be at the time which the murder was planned, carried out, and completed. This period of misconception and obscuration could be the ignorance motivating that particular action. The conception of oneself as inherent existent I and one's own mind and body as inherently existent mind are a cluster, a continuum, the ignorance of consciousness involved with one's action. The action may take only a few minutes. If one is planning a murder, it may take longer. Also, there will be additional ignorance in the form of lack of knowledge and misapprehension of the effects of murder. And what is that saying? If we're lazy, if we are lazy or we are stingy, that's the two things I talked about. If we are lazy, we are stingy. We think that at the moment someone asks us for money and we say no, that is all. We think that when we're lazy, just at the moment we're supposed to do something and we don't do it, they're angry, we say sorry, it's okay. And that's the karma. It's not. What this is saying is that you need to plan, you need to think, and you need to be happy with what you're doing afterwards. And that's why action continues. Example, a murder, just killing someone, it's just a few minutes. But how about all the planning that went behind it? All the planning that went behind it also has karma. And after you kill, how happy are you? How do you rejoice? Oh, I get the money now. I get this now. Oh, my enemy is gone now. Even after that, you seal it. So what it's saying is, it's not just the action that you create at that moment that creates negative karma. It's also the planning behind it. And therefore, how does that relate to us? Is that when we're lazy, there's a continuity of laziness. It's not just at that moment we're lazy. There's a continuity. That lazy mind, dependent on that moment, had a lazy mind before that, had another lazy mind before that, had another lazy mind, had another lazy mind. And these many lazy minds is minutes and seconds and hours and days and months and years and maybe even lifetimes. So even when we avoid the work, it is not only at that time we collect negative karma. It is also all the time before that, before we refuse to do the work, we also collect the karma. Does everybody understand that? Why? It's a continuity. And therefore, if there's a continuity from before, and when you reach the part where you're irresponsible and you're not doing your work, and you create unhappiness and disrespect for yourself, then it will continue if you don't do something about it. And Buddha says here clearly that, is it possible, someone asked the Dalai Lama, is it possible to avoid the negative karma that will come from all this actions we have done? They call it predisposition. Predisposition is the planting of karmic seeds in our mind. Is it possible to avoid effects of these karma or predispositions? And the Dalai Lama says, yes, it is, before we experience it. Why? If we are able to bring about a condition that is more powerful, then that would cause the karma to manifest, it can be overwhelmed. That means if we've done this kind of lazy action again and again and again, and we want to avoid the karma and also the habituation to continue, and the result of the habituation and the karma, then we have to have something more stronger to wipe that out, so that that karma doesn't manifest. And even if we don't fully purify that karma, we will lessen its effects. For people who have a lot of anger, and they manifest anger, they have a lot of suffering in this life. But let's not talk about that, because we know people who are angry, what happens to them. We don't need to talk, we can guess. But on a karmic level, people are very angry, will take rebirth in one of the hells. One of the hells. For people who have no ethics, no manners, thrive on selfishness, thrive on me, always me. That's very manifest. Lazy, don't want to push their intellect, sleepy, always avoid improvement of the mind. they will take a rebirth as an animal. Very strong. Not one time, not two times. Again, continuously. Why? Why continuously? What merit do you think you'll make as an animal? What merit? To make you come out. Once you go to jail, what do you think you can do to come out? Small chance what? Once you go to jail, you're back. Everybody think you're back. Even you talk to people, I'm good, I didn't do, no one listens to you. Even you got good behavior in jail, so what? Nobody cares. Once you're in jail, you're in jail. Once you take rebirth as an animal, what positive action can you do? Do 35 conventional Buddha and prostrate them. What animal you saw do that? Then once you take animal, definitely animal again, spirit again, hell again, animal, spirit. Not once or twice. It can go on for many aeons. And before you die, what do you experience from people around you when you're very angry? What do you experience? People don't like you. People avoid you. You're defensive. You don't improve. You fail. And you make excuses. What happens? When you're lazy, same thing. When you're miserly, same thing. So it's a very, very, very dangerous situation. If we do something more powerful, that is the four opponent powers, regret, purification practices, that will be much more powerful than the negative karma we have accumulated. And how much it purifies and how much it wipes away is how much effort we apply. And when we don't apply effort, even when we want to apply effort, we will not be able to anymore. We will find ourselves out of control. Too lazy, too selfish, too greedy, too lusty, too big mouth, too angry, it will become more and more. And for even the gods, and it can liken to the human realm also, when we have too much of a good thing, when things are too good, good water, good house, good car, good money, everything's easy, then we become too comfortable. When we become too comfortable, we find that we are like easygoing, we don't want to associate, and we're happy with our house. Actually, that's deception. Why is that deception? Because to reside and stay in our house with everything nice and easy and wonderful will require tremendous amount of merits. But at the same time, when we live like that, we are also nurturing another type of mind and another type of karma. That is the lack of applying effort toward developing the qualities that will not take us to the lower realms in the future. The people who die poor or people who die rich, there's not much difference. It's their attitude. But if we live a life that's easy and we check ourselves, it pulls us down into what? Into more wealth, into more laziness, into more relaxation, into more not effort. It's very dangerous. Why? Then we habituate our mind toward laziness, not pushing, not applying, and not doing more when we can. Actually, when we have everything, when we have money and clothes and car and food, when we have everything, in fact, it should help us to do more spiritual practice. Spiritual practice doesn't bring pain. The application of spiritual practice, when it upsets our reality, brings pain. What's bringing pain? It's our false reality, not the Dharma practice. So therefore, when we reside in that kind of situation, are you sure you will be rich in this life all the way to the end, and the next life, and the next life, and the next life, and the next life? Are you sure? But if you're not sure, and you have this attitude of laziness, and the next life you're not rich, then what will happen to you? You're not able to work, you're not able to push yourself, you're not able to achieve. Why? The attitude is still there, but the environmental circumstance is not there anymore. So therefore, even not doing anything in our house, and for some of you, I've never spoken about this before, because some can understand, some cannot. But let me talk about it now. Even sitting in our house, sitting in our car, sitting in our apartment, sitting outside in a tent, and we have this attitude of not pushing and doing more when we can, A arises from us having ignorance and not knowing the effects of karma. B, it comes from not understanding the true nature of our mind. C, habituation is very strong. Then you think, well, if I'm so bad, why do I have this? Well, you have this, you have wealth, you have this, you have this. It doesn't mean it's the result of good karma. If it's the result of good karma, your spiritual practice will progress. It will definitely progress in anything you have. If it's the result of just karma, you can go up or down, or most likely down. Why? This attitude will become stronger and stronger and stronger. So even when you sit there doing nothing, it is negative karma. Why is it negative karma? Because whatever you have, if the conditions are removed, you will lose it. But your attitude stays the same. So how are you secure in what you have when what you have can be removed very easily? How are you secure? Karma can change. Your previous many lifetimes, they mentioned here 400 or 500 aeons of lifetimes. How many karma have you achieved? So these teachings might be disturbing for some people. Let it not disturb you. Think of it this way. Know the truth. Know what affects you. Know what you can do. And do something about it. Avoiding to hear the Dharma because it creates fear and it makes you uncomfortable is not a way out. It's not a way out. Why? Because it's better we do something about things that we can do something about than to turn a blind eye. Does someone have any questions about that?
If I have a teaching on laziness and I'm still lazy, if we have teachings on not being lazy and we're still lazy, does that incur more karma than someone who didn't get the teachings on laziness?
If you start justifying and covering for it, yes. If you remain as you are, the karma is still the same. So that means if I caught you stealing, but you stole, that's very bad karma. And after I catch you stealing, then you lie and you say, oh, it's my mother, it's this, blah, 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 blah. You incur a double karma of covering and lying. So that means if you are lazy, and after you get the teachings of laziness, everybody knows you're lazy. A, you can become less lazy. B, you can cover more. If you cover more and avoid more and become more sneaky, there's definitely more negative karma. What? You're not collecting more negative karma because you got the Dharma taught. You're collecting more negative karma because more people know. So you need to cover more. So if you're stingy and everybody receives Dharma teaching, they know how to check and look now. The next time you try your old tricks of stinginess, next time you go out to eat and you don't pay and you sit there and your wallet's lost, your dog ate your wallet, or whatever, then you have to cover, oh, my dog ate my wallet. Last time you don't have to cover, they just keep quiet one. So now you say my dog ate my wallet, you have this karma of being stingy and the karma of being preparing to be stingy, even before you were stingy. And the karma of covering that you're stingy.
It's not just covering to other people, right? You'd be covering to
You're covering to yourself, but that's premeditation already. It's premeditation. Because it's not just the action at that moment. You have to have planned it, thought it out, and plotted it. Based on what? Wrong imputation. And that's how ignorance plays in us to collect negative karma. And it could be wrong conceptualization also. People say, hey, if you don't spend, you save your money, you save your job, you let everybody pay for you, then you'll be rich, you'll be alright. What? That's wrong indoctrination, wrong conceptualization. That type of ignorance can be removed with knowledge. The deep-seated one is more effort, His Holiness says. So there's this premeditation too. Isn't that horrible? So even when we're not being stingy, we still collect the demerit of being stingy. Why? In order to be stingy or lazy or angersome, we might have plotted. And if we continue to be, what does that mean? We are continuing to plot and plan to be stingy or angry or lazy. Do you understand? So do you see why even if we sit there doing nothing, it's still very positive, very strong negative karma. Very, very strong. Why? We're reinforcing it. And listen to this. We're creating the karma to help us be successful in the reinforcement. Isn't that scary? So that's why some of us are habitually cannot throw away some of our habits. We're always angry. We can't control it. And it's gone wild. These are the causes. If we're habitually lazy, most people will defend more and more and more and more to cover. To the point where there's no one to defend already. Why? People cannot take it. Bye-bye. No more. Understand? Questions? That was a good one.
I've read somewhere that actually every moment that we experience is like also the product of the 12 interdependent links.
The what? The what?
Every moment, like every split second that we experience is also, again, like the end product of the 12 interdependent links, which will support what you said. By just sitting there, we can create a huge amount of bad karma. And our question is, I think...
But this bad karma is on a subtle level,
Yeah.
on your subconscious mind, which is very dangerous. Because your conscious mind arises from your subconscious. Your conscious actions, a speech, arises from your subconscious. Your subtle sense aggregates and what it perceives imputedly wrong also arises from your subtle consciousness. So reinforcing the subtle consciousness is extremely dangerous. Very dangerous. And it will reach the point of what? You don't believe in karma? Okay. You check your habits. How more difficult is it to control? Even taking a vow and holding it. Why are people so afraid of being a monk and nun? Why are they so afraid? They can't hold the vows. Why? That's a direct message from your subconscious that you can't control yourself. That's why. It's a direct message. So when I give people vows to take, do this, do this, do this, they want to finish it ASAP and get over it ASAP. Why is it so difficult for them to hold their vows, their refuge vows, their tantric vows, their commitments, their bodhisattva vows, even, new name vows? Why is it so difficult to become a monk and nun? Why? Because it is a clear message to us. We want to keep our negative mind that creates more negative karma, fed by itself, again and again. Like the three animals in the center, grabbing each other's tail, feeding each other. Arising from each other, feeding each other. Very dangerous. And so why is that dangerous? Because you continuously make karma that's negative, effortlessly. And that will continue into future lives.